Hello everyone and welcome to another Premier Injuries Daily Roundup. Now, before we look ahead to game week 22, we do have an EFL Cup semi-final at Anfield this evening. For the host, Liverpool, Andrew Robertson has shaken off a minor knock. But unfortunately, Thiago Alcantara and Divock Origi, they have been ruled out until after the winter break. The visitors, Mcauthor. Now, we understand that Tomiyasu with ongoing calf problem and also Emile Smith-Rowe, groin issue, they have been ruled out of the tie. But Granit Xhaka, he has recovered sufficiently from COVID and he is part of the travelling squad. There are also big question marks over the availability of Martin Ødegaard. Now, there's no word on the precise nature of that or indeed the severity, but of course it casts doubt over his availability for Sunday in the North London derby. So watch this space. We will hear from Mcauthor both pre and post-match and also ahead of that North London derby. So make sure you're following PremierInjuries.com, the injury table, for updates, or my Twitter account at Ben Dinnery. All of those posts will be going out live. Now, ahead of game week 22 for Everton, they travel to Carrow Road to face Norwich. Good news with regards to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He was rested in the FA Cup as a precaution, complained of tightness in that thigh injury that he's just recovered from. That's kept him on the sidelines for 4 months. However, he's back on the training pitches and training normally. There's also signs of Richarlison, Yerry Mina and Fabian Delph. Now, they only took part of the session on Wednesday. Now, that gives a bit of an indication that maybe the trio aren't quite ready, certainly for a start this weekend, but they're going to be in and around that squad, so they'll not be too far away. Potentially game week 23, maybe before the winter break, but if they don't, certainly after that break, barring any kind of setbacks. Newcastle, they've confirmed the signing of Chris Wood on Thursday morning. They triggered what was reported to be a £25 million price tag for the 30-year-old. Now, he was actually forced off in the FA Cup last weekend due to what initially Sean Dyche reported as a minor groin issue. We've had no updates since. We're assuming that hopefully that there's no major problems. We do expect Chris Wood to be involved this weekend. For West Ham, they played Norwich midweek on Wednesday night, left there with a couple of Jared Bowen goals. However, there was all of the talk pre-match was with regards to the absence of Thomas Souček. He tested positive for COVID. Now, David Moyes has been particularly coy when talking about COVID cases within the camp. He's refrained from naming individuals, although he has referenced that it is in and around the group. So we're unsure at this point whether he will return for this weekend. We also seen Mark Noble out of the squad. Understand that is a knee problem. And Ryan Fredericks, who was due to start but was withdrawn late on. Don't know the reason as behind that. However, Aaron Creswell did return to the starting 11 after his absence due to a back problem, and he looks to have come through that match unscathed. For Manchester United, they rested a few players in their FA Cup win over Aston Villa. Ralph Rangnick spoke ahead of that match and he said that the likes of Harry Maguire, Cristiano Ronaldo, Jadon Sancho, those are players who weren't injured as such, but they were complaining of muscle problems. Now, Ronaldo, speaking to Premier League Productions on Thursday, actually said that his hip flexor issue isn't a big deal. He was hoping to train fully with the squad on Thursday. And again, providing he comes through that session without any problems, he is confident, his word, that he will come through that come through and be available for the weekend. Good news. Brendan Rodgers, we've also heard from him. One of the questions initially levied at him was whether that game would go ahead. Now, the Foxes are expecting a number of players back into that matchday squad, which of course eases issues. And as it currently stands, there are no questions or problems with regards to that squad availability. Talking about the game against Everton, which was postponed, the Premier League requirement is that you have 13 outfield players plus a goalkeeper. Brendan Rodgers actually stated that they only had 8 ready for that game. So that's why that fixture could not be fulfilled. However, the Foxes are hoping to welcome back Kaglos Sayuncu and Patson Daka, both of those players being hampered by hamstring problems. Also, Luke Thomas could be back into that Leicester defence. And Dewsbury Hall, he has also been past fit. And there will also possibly a place in the matchday squad for James Justin. He returned for the under-23s last weekend following that long-term knee problem. Of course, it was reconstructive surgery on his ACL. Now, while he may not be in a place ready to start, like I say, Brendan Rodgers hopes that he can be in and around that squad, and maybe he can play a bit part role in some of the upcoming games. For Crystal Palace, of course, they play on Thursday. So we have heard from Patrick Vieira. He's ruled out 2 players from the get-go. James Mcauthor, there was hope that he returned before the winter break. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. He's still a few weeks away. And also James Tompkins. We don't know the specifics of that. They're still waiting for updates, and he's still being assessed. Patrick Vieira is hopeful that it'll be weeks as opposed to months, but watch this space with that one. That basically locks in Mark Gayu and also Joachim Andersen in that central defensive pairing. Thirdly, question mark over Vicente Guyata. He missed out in the FA Cup at Millwall last weekend with Jack Butland starting. While there are no guarantees, Vieira said again he was hopeful that Gaika could come for a problem. He has been struggling with a hand sort of stroke thumb issue in recent weeks, so don't know if it's related to that. I'd like to say he didn't go into specifics, but he said he wasn't able or fit enough to feature against Millwall. And finally, their game against Brighton, Graham Potter's recorded Moses Caicedo from his loan spell. That's mainly due to the fact that Lys Basuma is currently on AFCON duty, and Mwepu, he picked up a hamstring problem in the cup. Now that's going to keep him out for a couple of weeks. So that's left the Seagulls a little bit light in the middle of the pot. That's why they've recalled him. And also Lewis Dunk. Now, Friday's game will come too soon. However, the centre-back is on the fringes of rejoining the squad in training. Now, hopefully that will happen on Sunday. If it does, then there's an outside chance that he could make the matchday squad against Chelsea next week. So, like I say, we have the early deadline on Friday. We may not get much of a chance to produce any videos, but our timeline at Ben Dinnery and also at Premier Injuries, they will be updated live. And of course, you can always check out premierinjuries.com, the injury table for all of the latest news and updates on player availability. But for now, that's it, and good luck ahead of game week 22.